Welcome to Women's Wars, a podcast series from Birn. I am Georgina Bamir. For this series, I have interviewed 10 extraordinary women from countries that emerged from the former Yugoslavia. They are activists and journalists who were inspired by the wars of the 90s to take action to support the survivors and advocate for human rights. By telling their stories, these courageous women show how wars continue to have an impact on ordinary people decades after they were fought. In this episode, former journalist Snezana Jakovljevic explains how a Kosovo War protest in her hometown Krusevac in Serbia led to a lifetime of activism. Snezana Jakovljevic comes from a working-class family. She studied political science in Belgrade and worked for a local radio station. This was when she got her introduction to activism at protests against Serbia's authoritarian leader Slobodan Milosevic in the 90s.
When I started to work in radio, I started to be interested in more in the politics, in the women's rights, in the human rights. So I somehow felt that something is wrong with the position of women, with status of women in the society, but I couldn't define what is it. I thought that there's something wrong with me, not with the society.
She was at home in Krusevac in May 1999 when she heard that people were protesting against Serbian men being called up by the army to fight in Kosovo. Although no close relative of hers were affected, she decided to join, not knowing how the protests would mark the rest of her life.
I saw mostly women who were mothers, daughters, sisters, wives of the men who were mobilized and sent to Kosovo. And then I started to go to take either joining them and go to the protest each day. And it lasted about 15 days in May 1999. I remember that the protesters had a walk, actually. They went to the street of the town against the war, against the regime of Slobodan Milosevic. They called it Bando Crvena. I don't know how to translate in English. It's red gang. And ask for returning men from Kosovo to Krusevac and stop the war.
Bando Crvena was a slang phrase used by opponents of the Milosevic regime, with red being the color of communism.
So did you go as a reporter, as a journalist, or did you go only as an active citizen who wanted to see change in your country?
I went as active citizens, but when I was asked from the magazine Republika from Serbia in 2000 actually, to write something about the protest in May, I did it as a journalist. So I wrote a text. It's how Krusevac from red town became izdajnički, betraying the town. And after 2000, we organized in our town, together with List Republika, the few round tables in which we discuss about the events in 1999, first of all, and the protest in Krusevac, because for us that protest is very important because it was citizens' protest. It started, at the beginning, they said, why our sons? So it means maybe some other sons, not our sons. But later it started to be really a citizens' protest. Stop the war. We want them here.
The Milosevic regime mobilized men from rural areas and smaller towns to go to fight in Kosovo, not thinking that they might protest and fight back. What happened in Krusevac showed them differently.
So what were the results of that protest? Did you see them immediately, or?
Yeah, it was immediate actually result because some men who were mobilized in Kosovo, they just escaped from Kosovo and they came to Krusevac and joined the protest. They were with their mothers, with their sisters and their wives. And the army person who led the Third Army
Battalion?
region, which is actually Pristina Corpus. They call it Pristina Corpus in Yugoslav army, in Serbian army. It was Nebojša Pavković. He came to Krusevac and promised the Protestants that he wouldn't again, that the men who were escaped from Kosovo wouldn't be punished. They wouldn't be called deserters, and there wouldn't be any other mobilization. But it wasn't true actually. After the certain time, they immediately call again the same persons who escaped to go to Kosovo. And for example, one of my relatives, it's not so close, but he was my relatives. He went again, and when I asked him why he did that, he said, "I don't know what to do. They just called me. I don't know. Actually, we are not politically literal. We cannot make the relations between causes and consequences. We don't know that as the person. I know my relative is very good man actually, and I know him for my life, and he is a person who is. But when somebody told him that the government said yes, go, he just go. That's really tragedy actually of the whole of those things and wars.
Pavković was eventually sentenced by the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia to 22 years in prison for committing war crimes in Kosovo alongside 3 other senior Yugoslav military and police officials. He died in October 2025, not long after he was released. Meanwhile, Jakovljevic went on to become executive director of Peščanik, a women's rights organization that advocates for gender equality. But she still believes that justice has not been done for the crimes committed in the 90s or for those who are sent to fight and die.
And we should be really persistent in punishing those who invited them to go, who organized the war, commanders, leaders, political, military leaders. It's really important to have transitional justice and to punish them for all that they made to all of the people in former Yugoslavia. It's not enough, and I know that Serbia is trying to avoid everything that is happening avoid everything that is connected to transitional justice as much as possible. We don't face the past.
Thank you for listening. You can find more installments of our Women's War series in our website, balkaninsight.com, or wherever you get your podcasts.